Hey everyone, welcome to JoJo's World.
Why, I didn't see you there.
Okay, great. We remember how to do this.
We're good, we're limber, we're ready to roll.
I'm Liam S. Smith, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Nick Valentine, the other one of the co-hosts.
This is JoJo's World, our JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast. And while we wait for December and the premiere of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Stone Ocean, we thought we would have a little premiere of our own today with a certain little movie called Promare.
Oh yeah, a premiere.
Premiere.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah. We
Take it back.
So, long weekend in Western Australia this weekend, and I was like, hey Nick, long weekend, do you want to watch a movie? And he was like, sure. What should we watch? And then we didn't talk about it for about a week.
And now we're here.
So then day of recording, we were like, what should we watch? Well, I happen to remember that I had a list of suggestions from some of our Twitter fans. Promare was suggested by RKAA, the same person who runs our Out of Context Twitter account.
Which I am still in love with, because it's our own content.
Yeah, we love it. We love to see it in our mouths.
Exactly.
So, Promare is the movie that I thought Fire Force was.
Even though Fire Force is A, not a movie, and B, not this movie.
Yeah, it's the Studio Trigger mech movie about firefighters and pyrokinetics.
So this feeds into MechWatch 2021 quite nicely.
Quite nicely, it fits that criteria, and is also by the same Studio Trigger, as the other entry of MechWatch 2021, Tengen Topper Gurren Lagann.
Hell yeah.
What to say about this movie?
So I think we were both caught off guard by everything in this film.
Why don't I start us with the IMDb summary?
Oh, do we have an editor's note? Or
Not that I've researched.
A producer's quote of some kind?
We got some trivia.
Hit me with the trivia.
Do you want the storyline first?
I guess. Hit me with... Okay, so when we looked this up online, you immediately saw, oh, it's about a firefighter. I don't know how I feel. And I went, no.
That's not what I said. I never said that.
No, you were like, oh, firefighter. And I went,
no, I
keep
wasn't.
Reading. Yes, you were. You absolutely were. You saw on the screen...
You're making this up.
You saw on the screen, oh, firefighter.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. It was right there.
Nick's gaslighting me. He's gaslighting you. He's cancelled.
That's it. I'm out.
Nick's a girl boss. A futuristic firefighting mecha service is created to protect the world.
Is that it?
That's it. That is not what happens in this movie.
Thanks,
That is what happens in the first 2 minutes of this movie.
And the rest of the movie is fucking bonkers.
The film is inspired by the Hikeshi, firefighting groups organized in ancient Japan due to frequent fires taking place.
Is that what he
keeps talking about how his spear or whatever
is inspired by the
Far Eastern Island firefighting culture.
Even though I assume that they're in Japan right now, but who knows?
There's just no way to know.
The
world was ravaged by fire for so long that we forgot about countries.
Exactly. There were no more borders now, only people and fire.
And even that border is torn down by the end of the movie. Okay, so Nick.
Yes.
Promare.
I
would say that there is too much of this movie.
Look, the movie went for 2 hours.
Yeah.
The entire time
you could have trimmed it down to a tight 90, I think.
Yeah, the entire time I was like, oh, so it's only a 90-minute film. You're like, 2 hours. Oh no. So
there's this guy. He's like a real sort of Jonathan Joestar type.
If there was one character I would describe him as, it would be Kamina from Teppen Tong and Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, that's what that show's called.
He has the same hair.
No, he doesn't.
The same style.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't wear a shirt. That's what you mean.
Yes. And he wears very baggy pants this time.
Because he's a firefighter.
And they're high vis.
Yeah.
And he has one arm that has like high vis on it as well.
I've got a cousin who became a firefighter in the past 12 months. And let me tell you, it's exactly like this.
It's mechs all the time. You hop in your mech, you go fight some fires.
And you fight some evil fire wizards who maybe aren't so different from you after all.
Are you telling me that the people that start fires are the same misunderstood people?
Arsonists. They're just like you and me.
We're going to get so cancelled for this.
No, we're not.
Well, I will. Apparently I gaslit you.
Yeah, you gaslit me, you gatekept me, you gold bossed me.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
Promare.
Promare.
So, okay, let's take this bit by bit.
Sure.
right? We start the movie with a regular, everyday, like,
Life.
exposition.
The frustrations of life.
Yeah, there's a guy on a train.
Traffic.
There's a guy in a car.
Just someone being abused by their...
Domestic abuse is
Yep.
happening. And then all of them just explode into fire.
One person is getting flamed online, which I thought was a nice touch.
I thought that was quite funny. They're all in stressful situations.
Yeah, like, and
They're
then
just
like
bad.
pink fire starts to shoot out of their eyes and mouths, and then the whole world seems to catch alight, and we learn about the Great Blaze
We learn that people who can make fire
and control fire.
spurt from their hands are known as the Burnish.
Yeah, they're the Burnish.
The fucking Burnish.
And there's a rogue terrorist group called the Mad Burnish, whose aims like we become very familiar with, but
For now, no one knows.
Yeah.
They're just mad terrorists who are Burnish.
and they hate us because we're free.
Yeah, so we learn that the Burnish are subjugated. It's basically this whole...
It's the same
enslavement.
problem with like the X-Men as an analogy for
Racism
or homophobia or whatever, where the metaphor doesn't quite stand up on account of the fact that these people frequently burst into flames, so therefore present an actual real physical threat.
But still, like, you can trust them. It's like they know not what they do, you know?
Yeah. So then we are introduced to Burning Rescue. Ooh, dropped my phone. We're introduced to the team of Burning Rescue, a sort of sci-fi mech firefighting force.
A ragtag team of
And, like,
individuals.
You know, it's very sort of anime team archetypes, to the extent that I thought they would be in the movie much more than they are.
Yeah, they're not in this film that much at all.
You got Lucia, who's like a sort of
Young.
she's the computer girl.
Yeah, she's the young.
She drives the
inventor lady.
drones.
Yeah, she's cool.
Ignis is the leader.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
older. He's got a mustache and
He
sunglasses.
drives a Mustang. He's cool.
Varus is a bald eunuch, master of whisperers.
He's a big guy.
And
He's the head honcho
or
duo.
his little birds tell him everything that happens at court.
Yeah, he's the big dude. He's cool.
Like, will it kill you to yes and me on this Game of Thrones reference?
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, Varus is a big guy who we learn has a mutation that makes him extra strong in one line of dialogue that is never referred
Yeah,
to again.
superhuman strength. He's cool.
And the girl.
Aina.
Yeah.
Aina
Who
R.
I'm not really sure what her role in the team is. She doesn't seem to do a lot of firefighting.
She
I think
rides
she drives
around
a plane or something.
she drives in like a drone plane
Yeah.
thing. It has like fans on it. It's cool.
Oh,
She's
and
cool.
Remy, who is also there.
Who the hell was
Remy
Remy?
is the glasses one who was like the intellectual.
Remy.
He was in the movie.
What was his last name?
I don't know, really cooked names in this movie.
We have people like Aina R. Debit.
Yep, Ardebit.
We have
Cray Forsyth.
Cray Forsyth.
Which, like, that's the most fucking Liam-ass D&D name I've ever heard.
Soon we will have Gallo Thyros.
Our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
Gallo Thyros.
Unless we forget, fuck.
Your phone is going crazy.
Oh god, I muscle. Deus Promare. The guy whose name is God and person who stole fire from God.
Hey, so what's your name? Deus Prometh. Oh, yeah, cool. I'm Dave.
I'm Mike Sanchez. Pleased to meet you.
Hi, I'm Gallo Thyros. I'm a R. Debit.
I'm John Smith.
John, look.
You're not allowed in the team anymore unless
Look.
you change your name to Varus Ignablaze.
Can I do that? No, I'm already Varus. Oh.
Yeah. And then so they're doing this like elaborate fire fighting
Quote unquote firefight sequence.
because this big office tower was in fire.
So to even set this up even more, we're 30 years after the Great Blaze.
Yep.
The whole place is basically like covered in fire hydrants. There's a
And
massive
they're
tower.
blue.
Yeah, not red.
Real Shelbyville vibes.
Yeah. There's this massive tower in the middle. It's like on a big stand.
And it's like got horizontal office buildings coming out of it. And
Yeah.
it's like
And
the
everywhere,
epicenter of the city.
yeah, everywhere is skyscrapers and cool future tech shit.
And yet there's still little Italian neighborhoods that just give you pizza that's just so good.
Oh, you gotta love it.
Anyway, yeah, so then there's this big fire, and the team will have a moment where they show off their specialties, and you're watching it, and you're like, oh, this is like the intro fire where they each show their
unique skills that are going to come into play later in the
so that
film.
later in the movie, when they're doing their thing, we have an idea of what their capabilities all are. But instead, they just don't actually really do much for the rest of the movie.
So Varys is super strong. Remy is super accurate.
I guess. He's also there. He's got like a Gatling gun that shoots ice.
Yeah, Ignis is literally just like, do the thing.
He's like the coordinator. He's their leader.
Lucia is all like, here's another piece of
I
technology.
invented it.
Hey, have a thing.
She's got a fucking fight stick up in her drone.
Yeah. Ima is like, hey, there's too much smoke. I can't get in.
And they're fighting the fire, and the fire has, what do they call them, like burnish sparks or something?
Yeah, burnish
Like little
sparks.
dragons of fire that they have to fight.
They're just like shooting ice bullets to freeze things.
And they get some people out of the building, and it's like, oh no, more people on the roof. Here's our hero.
Gallo Thyros.
Yeah, he's got a little fire mech, and we're going to send him up on the roof via, you know how fire engines have those ladders on the roof?
I'm aware of them.
That
Yes.
folds out and turns into like a launch cannon for his mech.
Now, see, I always thought it was a cannon when I was a child, so this isn't too far from reality for me.
Yeah. This is highly scientific firefighting.
Yeah, don't need to suspend my disbelief to be like, oh, it's a big cannon, it shoot thing. It shoot the firefighter into the building.
So he goes on up there and to save the people, and we're introduced to who we are faked out to believe will be the villain of the movie, but is actually the deuteragonist of the movie.
Ooh.
Leo Frostbang. What's his fucking name?
It's Leo Photon?
Yeah, Photus.
Leo Photus.
Yeah.
Liofot. I hope it's IN, but it could be IS.
IS, I think. They're all burnished. They're the mad burnished. the three leaders of the terrorist cell who've been on the run for 30 years.
30 years?
That's so long.
That's so long! That's longer than I've been alive for!
Yeah, technically still for me too.
Yeah. Yikes.
And they make like mech structures out of their fire, which turns into like black metal.
Not really explained yet.
It's
how
a
that works.
pyrokinetic, you know?
Yeah. But, they make fire into cool looking suits.
And motorcycles.
And motorcycles. Like rad motorcycles.
So there's a pretty extended action sequence here where our boy Gallo
Fights the two
dispatches
scrubs.
the two motorcyclists, and
I think it's
the whole time the leader, the unnamed leader, is watching on his fire throne with his
head cocked and
his
being
head
like,
lazily resting on his fist.
being like, go on, make my day.
And then he's like, introduce the Far Eastern inspiration for my firefighting suit. And like, what I thought was a cute moment, like a little fire drone projects a like historical PowerPoint presentation.
And he's like, yes, this mech suit that I am now wearing with the big spear is reminiscent of Far East ancient firefighters that would risk their lives to fight fires. I'm like those guys. I fight fires.
So then they have a long like mech sword fight.
It's very long.
Yeah. Look, Studio Trigger are definitely the masters of style over substance.
Yep.
That's why I enjoyed so much their recent Star Wars Visions short, in which a man cuts a Star Destroyer in half in space while riding on an X-Wing going into hyperspace.
They get it.
Yeah,
They get
understand.
what we want.
But, a movie is a lot of it,
A whole movie of this, it kind of drags out, even after the first fight scene.
Look, and I think this was a competently told story, but it wasn't...
A competent story.
No, it was competent,
okay.
but it wasn't, there were no real groundbreaking breaks from formula here. Like, you kind of...
This was no Knives Out.
After this initial action sequence, you can kind of pretty easily project everything that's going to happen in the rest of the movie.
Which we did do.
Yeah.
Pretty
Like,
comfortably.
they're going to team up against the billionaire, who's obviously evil because he's a billionaire. And they're going to put aside their differences because even though they are on opposite sides of fire law, they are ultimately
Fire law.
both are looking out for their people.
I guess that's technically what it was, yeah. So...
Everything in this world is fire-themed, Nick. That's why there's fire cops and fire rescue.
Look, we've got fire food. It's really hot. What is it? It's fire.
Nick, the fascist secret police are called Freeze Force.
Look, we'll get to that.
Now, in fact, because he defeats him and Like, he's got a gun that he shoots people with, and then it puts, like, ice handcuffs on them.
Yeah, Gallo shoots them.
Yeah.
And he's all like, that's right, I've got fire not on my side. I have ice freezing bullets on my side. I'm amazing.
He's like, oh, you've got no mech left. Ah, well, I'm not alone, though, because we're a rescue team, and my team will rescue me.
And the rest of the team shows up after being all like, oh no, I thought I won.
I do like the fact that this is a movie where, like, because of the whole firefighting conceit, it's almost an excuse to have a action mech protagonist whose driving motivation in doing those action scenes is saving lives.
It's quite fun.
Yeah, like, it works.
He's just a rescue guy. He has to put out the fires.
Me, I'm a rescue guy. That's what I do.
So I thought the movie had ended at this point because we'd had the full arc of who are these characters? Oh, that's the bad guy. We got him.
Good graphics that, like, with, like, text pop-ups and backgrounds whenever, like, a new name or person or organization is introduced. Again, like, high stylization here. Points.
I believe they're called the Burning Legion?
The Burning Legion?
The Burning Legion. Yep, that's the team. That's the team name that Gallo, Thyros, and Ina are Debit.
And Illidan Storm Rage.
They're all on the same
That's a fucking
team.
burning rescue ass name, right? Illidan Storm Rage?
Doesn't sound far off from this movie, does it?
Yeah.
He could be Cray Forsyth.
What's Arthur's surname?
Oh shit. Arthas Lich King?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's his name. And then you got Thrall Horde Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anyone from Alliance. but,
Sylvanas sexual harassment lawsuit.
Too soon, Liam. Too soon.
Current. Topical.
Ooh, big oof. Yeah,
Balls to the wall is the phrase I live by, Mad Burnish.
says Gallos Thyros.
Gallo.
Gallo Thyros.
Yeah, and he's like, my name's Leo Focha. And then, like, they glare up and down at each other respectively, and their names are superimposed behind each other, and it's like, setting up their ideological differences.
Game meets game.
Yep, the game does meet the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then, like, the clearly evil paramilitary freeze force show up, and you can tell they're clearly evil because their leader, who is the only one we ever really see,
His name is Captain Vulcan.
yep, he's got a big jeep that drives everywhere, and his teeth are sharp like shark's teeth.
You know that sharks that drive jeeps, never good people. Unless they're street sharks.
They don't drive jeeps, Nick. They dig along through the ground.
Because they're environmentally
I'm sure some of them
aware.
drive jeeps.
Yeah, they Why drive a jeep and put carbon dioxide into the atmosphere?
When you can eat the ground with
eat-
your huge shark teeth.
The environmental choice? Dig up the infrastructure, let the plant seep through.
Look, Nick, you've radicalized me. The only choice to combat climate change is to build a huge array that will shoot out a beam and turn everyone into half man, half shark monstrosities.
Is such a thing even possible?
Not from a Jedi point of view. Nick, that reminds me. Today I was looking at Trojan horse memes.
Okay.
And it was like a diagram of, you've got the city of Troy here, Trojan horse here,
Yep.
and then, like, cut away so you can see Greeks inside it.
Oh, yeah?
And the
Paint me a
Trojan horse was me, like labeled me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
City of Troy labeled a conversation about Star Wars.
Okay.
And area with Greek soldiers concealed away was labeled, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Oh, Jesus. It's too... We just...
Star Wars is anime now. It's on topic.
Can we just watch all the Star Wars films while waiting for Stone Ocean?
I mean, we're not going to record that many podcasts between now and then.
Not with that attitude.
We can certainly watch them.
Oh, yeah.
In conclusion, my favourite ones were The Ninth Jedi, The Elder was pretty good, The Village Bride,
Yep. Haven't seen any of.
The Twins, and The Duel.
The Jewel.
Yeah, that's the first one, sort of Akira Kurosawa inspired.
Ooh.
Like, I'd say basically like 7 out of 10 of them, or however many of them there were Jedi but samurai, because obviously there's some cultural resonance there.
Yeah. They're just there being like, yeah. So
The Duel was one of the better ones of those, I think.
Okay, sweet. Noted. I might get onto it.
So Vulcan threatens to arrest Gallo because he engaged with a terrorist in the course of rescue operations.
Now, this, you would think, is an important plot point.
It sets up the rivalry between the two organizations.
True. Between Burning Rescue Force
Burning Rescue.
and Freeze Force.
Between Fire Force
Between Fire Force and Ice Squad.
and Ice Cops.
See, you've got the people warm, compassionate, fire,
Passionate.
creative, and then you've got ice cold, logical, Frozone.
I mean, Nick, I know you're doing a bit right now, but you are just describing the dynamic between Leo and Gallo.
Fuck. Shit. But Leo uses fire too.
It's ironic because he uses fire, but he's cold and
distant.
yeah, whereas the fire-hating fire rescuer man, Gallo, is passionate and spicy.
Deeply soulful. So big old Captain Vulcan with big shark teeth is like picking him up by his scalp.
Yeah, and like, I'll arrest you.
Because you broke the law. I'm the law, by the way.
I'm Fire Law.
Do you know what
Fire
law is?
Law Ozai.
That's my name.
That's one for the Avatar heads out there.
Fire Law Ozai?
Yeah.
Who the hell was Ozai? Was he the king guy?
Oh, Nick.
He's not the kid.
Nick, I haven't even watched this show.
Damn.
At this point, while Leo is being transported to fire prison, at this point we got an expositional narration about the Burnish appearing 30 years ago. It's like, yeah, we kind of put that together with the opening sequence. You didn't need to tell us this.
So they're walking through a cold...
Currently, Gallo is being awarded a Medal of Honor, and this is being juxtaposed with Ice Prison.
Yeah, so there's Ice Prison, which is like in the middle of fucking nowhere.
And we see that there are just like kids in there that are like covered in bandages and have anti-fire sci-fi handcuffs on.
It's inhumane.
It's like, oh, and this is where we start to see, like in the, obviously a pretty predictable turn, like, oh, they're not just arresting bad Burnish, they're arresting all the Burnish.
Oh.
Maybe the government are the bad guys in this one.
Are they fascists?
And the governor, who is also a billionaire and scientist leader, is giving Gallo his medal, and then they're all talking about a pizza afterwards. It's like, I really respect the Gov, because he saved my life when I was a kid at the cost of his own arm.
So it is revealed that Gallo was saved as a child.
And that's why he wants to be a fire rescue man, because he himself was fire rescued.
And that's his driving motivation, to be a firefighter.
Yep.
He wants to fight the fires.
He's a really deep, well-realised character who wants to be a firefighter. And the whole thing with this Cray Forsyth, the governor, is he's got closed anime eyes the whole time, which of course we know signify like hidden intent. And it's only when he reveals his true villainous nature that he starts to open those eyes.
But for the whole time, you're just like, oh, he seems like a good guy. He's smiling. He's got closed eyes, like a cute little
He's
anime
so
boy.
blonde.
Exactly. Wait, are his eyes open there? No, he's just a happy go-getter guy. They're like, those happy anime eyes when they're shut and they do the curve?
I just described that.
Yeah, they're like that. They're little happy curved anime eyes.
That guy from Bleach who looks like a fox.
Exactly, that guy, yeah. And so then
they're all eating pizza, and it's like, oh, we love the pizza. The pizza chef always knows how to keep the oven at just the right temperature.
He must be really good at his job.
Yeah, it's almost like he's got some sort of intuitive link to the flames that he uses in that wood fire furnace back there.
Yeah,
but
because he's a pizza chef. Yeah. God.
And then, they're all expositing about how Cray Forsyth is the head of the Fire Site Foundation, and the girl's sister, what's her name?
Not Hellas. Helis?
Harris
R. Debit.
Yep.
Hellas R. Debit.
She's the sister of one of the Fire Force members.
Ina R. Debit.
Sorry, one of the Burning Rescue members.
Ina R. Debit.
Yep. Who yes, and she's a scientist with the Foundation.
These fucking names.
No, I know, right?
Oh my god, it's incredible.
But then the Freeze Force show up, and it's like, oh no, the pizza chef was a Burnish. And now they're also arresting the pizza shop owner because he was trying to help his chef.
It's like some kind of...
Those laws are only against anti-terrorists. Oh, I'll let the courts decide that.
You think that they're not terrorists, mate? Maybe you're a terrorist
and then, the clientele were like, you mean a Burnish made this pizza? Disgusting.
Throw the pizza slice on the ground. all of us are like,
But the compassionate, identifiable burning rescue members are like, but it's not being a burnish that's bad, it's how you use your flame powers that makes a difference.
they're just misunderstood and problematic.
They're just people. They're just they're just mutants. Like you, Varys, with your super strength. Yeah, this is the last line I have in the movie. Right?
It kind of is, I guess. And so they're just like, isn't it wrong to treat the burnished like
I
cattle?
don't know if he spoke at all. He might have just been a silent guy.
He was just like, No, I'm pretty sure it was like, yeah. Yeah, they're just like, isn't it wrong to judge a book by its burnish? And obviously Captain Vulcan is like, no, it's entirely correct to do that. They're burnished. They can't be trusted.
They can't be trusted.
They're too dangerous to be left alive.
Great.
Thank you.
We need to kill all the burnish, not just the men, but the
the
women
women
and children too.
too.
Hooray!
So they arrest the burnished man. All the clientele are like, disgusting.
You mean a burnish made this pizza?
It did.
I'll never eat a pizza here again.
Well, good, because we're shutting down because the owner and the only person other than the owner that works here, the fire guy, just got arrested.
Fire guy.
That's all he does, right?
Meanwhile, Leo easily breaks out of prison by using his fire powers to overload the anti-fire powers.
Of his handcuffs.
Yeah, because his fire powers are too strong and too pure for it.
So that's not really explained very well.
He's just too, it's just like,
too good.
he's too good.
He's
you know?
too good for technology.
And then they steal a helicopter, and they're never seen again.
Well, he also lets loose all the prisoners.
And pointedly, he's like, don't kill anyone, though. Because
We don't kill for no
we
reason.
Mad Burnish never kill anyone.
We only kill for good reasons.
We only kill for pleasure. Sexual pleasure.
Hello and welcome to Hellraiser Burnish.
There's a fine line between fire and pain.
I'm pretty sure that is the plot of one of the Hellraiser films.
Yeah, I believe it. Meanwhile, because they got really angry about the arrest, Gallo and Aina
A-I-N-A.
have gone to a big lake that he likes to go hang out at. They have a moment where they're staring deeply into each other's eyes, but that's never really touched on again.
Ever.
Yeah, they kind of immediately
Oh, look,
discard the romantic subplot after
it's
this.
implied later that
Is
Ina's... Yeah, that Ina's been talking to her sister about him, but that's literally the only other
Yeah, but like
sign
at
of
the
it.
end of the movie, they don't get together or anything.
No, well, he's made a new friend.
Oh, he's fallen deeply in love with Leo.
Exactly.
Helza Poppin.
Exactly.
Or whatever his fucking name is.
Leo Fotana?
Yeah, Leo Fotis.
Leo Fontana.
Big lake. I've tunneled down like 5 meters into this ice before, and
And it's ice all the way down.
yep, to the center of the earth.
Well, no. And so Ina's all like, wow,
I came out here because I thought you might try and attack Vulcan.
I thought you knew what this lake was. He's like, nope, just found it one day.
Yep.
I like it here. It's
But
pretty
then,
neat.
while they're staring deep into each other's eyes, he notices
A reflection in the ice.
of flying burnish powers. He's like, I'll go check it out.
You call HQ. I don't think she called HQ.
No.
They never come.
She kind of just leaves him out there.
So Garros,
Gallo.
Gallo,
I swear we watched this movie, guys.
Gallo runs on over to a cave where all the burnish have been
Yeah,
transported.
there's like 24 of them.
And
And he sees the kids and he's like, oh no, kids.
I gotta
I'm
go
not
save
allowed
them.
within 500 meters of kids.
So he runs up to
I'm
the
an
cave.
anime character.
Runs up to the cave and he's all like, I've got to save those kids. And then he peers inside, and who should he see?
But when like one of the kids turns around and just sees him pointing a gun at them all. Oh no, kids, better pull my gun out.
Well, it's a freeze gun. It's not going to kill them.
You know, they haven't done a lot of studies on the long-term effects of flash freezing people. It's probably not good for you.
Well, given the nature of the main villain, I don't think they do any research.
He's knocked out and tied up. And Leo's like, I told you to memorize my name, Gallo Thymos. I'm Leo Fosha. And we watching at home are like, yeah, memorize his name. We're doing you that courtesy.
Yeah, got it memorized.
Yeah,
Every Kingdom
we
Hearts fan is
memorized
like,
all
"What?"
of your names.
Trigger is just like sitting in Trigger, the man Trigger.
Trigger. John
Yeah.
Trigger.
John Trigger, the director and
No, sorry.
screenwriter of this
Let me
movie.
correct that. Cray Trigger.
Sorry, Lythor Trigger is sitting in his fucking gallant throne being like, do you remember the names
which is
of all
made
my...
of crystallized anime.
Yep, and he's just sitting there going, do you remember the names of all my characters?
I'll challenge you to name 3, and I'm like,
Is it Goal?
Little Witch Academia.
You have failed this test. Pushes a button and then drills just appear out of nowhere.
Gotta be drills.
It's always fucking drills.
Can I actually name 3 trigger characters that aren't from this movie because they're fresh in my mind?
All right, let me just cover your phone. Okay, go.
Kamina.
I'll accept it.
Simone. I remember that one because I always thought it should be Simon because that's the normal version of the name.
I don't know if Simone is in this
Simone.
one. Simone.
I said not from this movie.
Oh, not from this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still Simon.
And
there's a really easy one. Everyone loves her.
I'm trying to remember the name of someone from that witch show.
No one remembers that witch show. Don't remember that one.
You leave that witch show out of this. That's right, we're bringing all the hits back.
You leave Kill the Kill out of this.
I never watched that.
No one did.
Okay. Oh, fuck. I can't even remember the name of any of the characters from the Trigger Star Wars animes.
The ones that you watched
this week.
literally within like 72 hours of recording this episode.
Okay, give me a hint.
It starts with Y.
What does?
The lady's name from Gurren Lagann.
Oh, Yuna.
No! Not Yuna! Isn't it Yoko?
Yuriko.
Shit, is it Yoko?
It's probably Yoko.
I hope it's Yoko. I actually can't remember.
Cool.
Fuck. All right,
guys, we're really good at watching anime.
Close to 3 characters.
Close to 300 episodes. No, not close to 300 episodes.
Well, I mean, more than halfway.
Yeah, over 200.
Yeah, there we go. See, we're close. We're getting there. Yeah.
Wow, the Burnish eat food too?
Yeah, we're human.
We're human, man.
You fucking racist scum.
And this is where he learns compassion for the Burnish.
I see. So now Gallos
because he watches one of them die.
Yeah, so now Gallo is all like, oh,
they're human.
And he's like, wait, why are you making
this woman
up with
needs
that lady?
medical support. I'm giving her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
And Gallo's all like, no, let me
do it. I've got my first aid certificate because I'm a fire rescue guy. And my bike has medical supplies. And he's like, no, I'll just put spiritual fire into her. Oh no, she's dead.
Yeah, Leo's all like, everyone burns out at some point.
Yeah.
We all know that.
And
we hear
the curse of being the Burnish is that...
the curse of the Burnish.
Is that the flames will keep you young and regenerate you, but eventually you'll crumble into ashes.
Because the more you use the flame, the more you burn.
We hear the call of the flame, telling us to make it brighter and stronger.
Now, at first I thought this was like a metaphor where it's like, I feel the desire.
Like some real like Lord of Light, Game of Thrones shit.
Later we learned, no, literally they hear the voices of the fire. Like, literally. We'll get there.
Like, that woman from Vermintide 2.
Oh, yeah?
Sienna Fuegonasus.
How do you remember that name?
Because that's a good name.
I'm sorry, are you saying that Gallothyros is not a good name?
Yeah.
Are you saying that Leo Fatio is not a good name?
That's not his name. You forgot it already.
Leo Fazi?
Photus?
Photus? Leo Photus? You saying that's not a good name? Are you saying that Aina Debit is not a good name?
That name is like quicksand on my brain. It just falls through it like quicksand is known to do.
Is it because it has the word debit in it?
Yeah, I'm all about credit, baby.
But Cray Foresight, that is a good name.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Credit where it's due, that's a good name.
Debit where it's due.
Great, okay.
So,
we're going to leave as long as the Foundation's after us.
Yeah, and Gallows are like, wait, you can't go, you're under arrest.
The Foundation? But they would never hurt you. Wrong. The Foundation's killing us all with their experiments. And this is where we at home start to think, maybe there's something not on... This is just the plot of Venom.
Now, what is the plot of Venom?
Okay, the plot of Venom is
Eddie Brock.
that an evil rich scientist wants to capture alien life forms that have a symbiotic relationship with humans to explore space and escape climate change.
As in to leave the Earth forever?
Yeah.
And he does that using symbiotes?
Yeah. Well, he wants to.
Why doesn't he just build a normal rocket?
He does. That's how he finds the symbiotes.
What? What the fuck?
Anyway, it's the same movie.
Okay, alright, sure.
There are parasitic alien life forms or symbiotic alien life forms in this movie that give you powers.
Yeah, big fire powers.
Yeah.
Fire
as opposed
power.
to big goo powers.
Oh my god, firepower.
Nick's eyes lit up and he said the phrase firepower as if he's just arrived at some sort of deep conclusion. I have no idea what it could be.
Fire plus power equals firepower.
Okay.
Firepower is like firepower with a gun,
Nick, did you
right?
hit your head?
Yes! Firepower! I've been sick for weeks. This is all coming
That's true.
together.
Nick's had bronchitis and the muscle.
And it's the most painful shit. Oh my god, firepower. That's why they made the movie. That's it. That's the only reason.
I think the only reason is firefighter.
Oh my god, firefighter use firepower to fight fire. Anyway, so Leo's all like...
Leo
"No."
goes and speaks... No,
He
sorry.
speaks hard truths.
Yes. And then Gallo goes and speaks to the Gov about it. Craig Forsyth.
Yeah, and Craig Forsyth, the governor, is all like, what did he say?
Let me show you my secrets so that you may betray me.
So he takes him downstairs. I thought we were deep underground. We were not deep underground. We were just in the big tower.
No, this part's deep underground.
No. This is literally... You know how the...
No, because later on, the base of the tower is revealed... Where the city is.
Yeah.
Is revealed to be...
Yeah, it's like barely underground.
Yeah, but it is underground.
I guess it is technically a basement level, yeah.
So
I thought we were like
the
kilometers under the earth.
Parnassus Project.
Parnassus Project.
Which is like, classic space arc, 10,000 humans go to Alpha Centauri or whatever.
Yeah. Now, question. Who or
The
what
Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Who or what is Parnassus?
My Nick, Parnassus is one of the largest islands in... Wait, hang on. Sorry, Mount Parnassus is a mountain in central Greece that towers above Delphi, north of the Gulf of Corinth. Is it volcanic? Let's find out.
I hope it's volcanic.
As a metaphor.
What? Why does Wikipedia have...
Nick, I was making fun of people doing this on Twitter not this very week, but I'm about to read you excerpts from a Wikipedia article as if I have done research.
Okay, alright. As a metaphor.
The relationship of the mountain to the Muses offered an instigation to its more recent mystification with the poetic artistic trend of the 19th century called Parnassism. And famously known as the Parnism cheese.
Parnism cheese.
Parnism. You see what I'm doing?
I see what you're going for.
Yeah. I didn't do it well, but you see what I'm going for.
You're trying to stay alive barely, but you know.
Okay, in mythology, Mount Parnassus is named after Parnassos, the son of the nymph Cleodora and the man Cleopompus.
But who is he?
A city, of which Parnassos was the leader, was flooded by torrential rains. The citizens ran from the flood, following wolves howling up the mountain slope. There, the survivors built another city and called it Lycoria.
Lythor.
Expound on that.
Gallo Lythor.
That's not his name.
Oh fuck, what's his last name?
Thymos.
Thymos. Yeah. Gallo Thymos.
Exactly.
That's
Lycoria.
These fucking names. So in essence, it's like running away from
There's a
your
lot of
problems.
Greek names in this
Yeah. So the idea is you're running away from your problems. In this case, you're running away from the earth,
one, which is a problem.
which is a problem because as we find out, the magma deep in the earth's core is going crazy. It's all like, I want to explode into 1,000,000 pieces. It's me, the earth's core. Sean Magmary. Yes.
So there's 10,000 people, and it's like, but that's not enough to save all of us. And then Ina's sister.
Wow. Ina's sister.
Guys, I don't think we should watch movies for this podcast. We don't have the stamina.
I mean, I'm doing great. I don't know what you're talking about. Ina's sister is one of the scientists.
Hermit.
Hellas.
Hellas. Which is
Ardebus.
probably a Greek name.
Like Helios.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. God of lightness. Like weight, maybe. I don't know. But Hellas Ardebus is a scientist working on a warp drive.
Yeah.
Which is a system
And the warp drive is powered by the soul of the pizza chef.
Now, when you say it like that, you make it sound like magic. But what we see is a highly technologically advanced, effectively a centrifuge, that when it spins, the man inside the centrifuge spins, and all the fire comes out of him, separating the fire from the man.
From the meat.
Yeah, exactly, like a centrifuge do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks extremely painful.
Yeah, he's having a bad time. The engine was a success. And then he emotionally Cray Forsyth emotionally manipulates her into making the call to power the spaceship with the engine, even though that was his plan all along.
And she's all like, "You knew I would do that, didn't you?"
And he's like, no, Gallo's like, we can't do this. The Burnish are people too. I understand that now. And then he gets fascist arrested.
Yeah, so Cray Forsyth, the governor, is like, well, I
I
can't let you leave
always
then."
disliked you. Look, I actually never lost my arm. I've got 2 arms. And this arm is betraying you.
Oh my God.
Take him away, boys.
So
That's how it be.
yeah, he gets shot in the back, frozen.
He does not get shot in the back. He gets dragged away.
Oh, he gets dragged away, and they chuck him in a cell, and now he's locked away in a cell.
Never to be seen again.
We find out he's locked in that cell for like a week.
I have no sense of what timescale this movie happens on.
It's crazy.
Meanwhile, Captain Vulcan goes and captures all of the Burnish from their Burnish settlement.
So they're currently living near a volcano, I think?
Yeah, it's like using the natural heat of that to hide their Burnish energies.
The problem is Captain Vulcan had an ace up his sleeve.
A horrid old man who betrayed them all.
They put a tracker inside his body before they left.
Yep.
And thus were able to track him.
And he like puts an ice bomb on Leo so that his fire mech falls apart.
His fire mech suit body
So
armor
he gets
stuff.
injected with like an absolute zero bullet, which is going
quote
to
unquote injected.
Yep.
He gets shot with a bullet.
it's going to freeze his whole blood from the outside in.
Ah.
But his 2 friends, who aren't important to the story really,
Mice and Weiss.
sure,
Yep. His 2 cronies.
make a big fire gun and shoot him away to a volcano with it. So
Again, using the magic of fire.
Yep, so they're all captured, but Leo is kept safe. And then after a little while, he gets sufficiently hot and angry and turns into a huge dragon and goes and attacks the city to kill Cray Forsyth.
Because he uses the heat of the volcano to get angrier and angrier.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to how he got out of that situation.
It was just like he's in a volcano, he just gets angry, and then he takes the bullet out, and then.
But all of
ice
the
is up.
other Burnish have been captured and put in the ship's generator.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
That's a lot of burnish.
And it's announced that Gallo was arrested for trying to shoot the governor. And
Which is obviously fake.
Ina
Ina, yep.
goes to
Ina
her sister
Ardeva.
and is like, I know he would never do that. And she's like, he did. I saw it.
With
anyway,
my own eyes.
I'm going to give you a call and you should come on the Ark ship when you get that call.
Definitely listen out for that call. I can guarantee that you'll be safe on the ship. Spoiler alert, she does not receive that call.
She does. She just doesn't come,
Ah,
I think. Or is that a lie from...
from Gallo.
no.
Not Gallo, Cray.
Cray.
Cray Forsyth. He's just filled with lies. Like Archeo.
Archeo Ottering?
Yeah.
Chairman?
Cray Forsyth and Archeo Ottery are the same man.
They're pretty similar.
Yeah, they both have immense firepower.
Anyway, long story short, the launch starts to happen while the dragon attack happens.
Yep, so
And
Leo...
in the chaos, the city's on fire, and Gallo's cell is damaged, and he escapes and rejoins the fire team because he's a firefighter by nature, so he must fight the fire when he sees it.
And the fire rescue team are like, oh my god, you're on fire. He's like, am I? And they put him out.
They douse him, and like the big dragon the big dragon.
Yeah, the big angry dragon of Leo.
Yeah, and Leo is its eye, and Vulcan tries to fight him but is rebuffed. And he's going to go attack Cray, and Cray starts to reveal like mysterious powers in his hand. But just before he does anything,
He holds it back.
Gallo in his fire mech strikes the eye and knocks him out, and then somehow they're both captured by Ina in her jet, who puts them both in a pod where they have to fight each other.
Leo and
Gallo.
Gallo,
And then she
yes.
drops them both into the ice lake.
to cool off,
Yeah.
where Gallo and her had a moment before.
Yeah, and it's like, I brought you here to cool off, because that's where you come to do it. But it's also both literal in this case, because fire and ice are water.
And so they are ejected from the pod.
Yeah.
And in order to break their landing, Leo uses fire on the ice, causing it all to melt.
Well, I think also he was just kind of on fire the whole time.
That's true. There's a lot of fire in this movie, and we have skipped over a lot of fight scenes.
To be honest, that whole dragon sequence was pretty cool.
It's pretty
that,
dope.
That was when I first remarked to you, I think, like, everything in this movie feels like it's about a minute away from turning into a music video.
Literally every fight scene, it's got this lady who's like, ha.
Sort of like near automata, orchestral, choiral music.
Choiral?
Choiral?
Choiral. Choiral?
Coitus.
Coin. Or like Metal Gear Solid 5. Ha ha. Like a lot of that is happening.
Yeah.
to emphasize the epicness
like
of the
poppier.
situation. Yeah, with a lot more like ooh in the background. That was a word. A lot more
Ooh.
ooh.
Just a little bit of ooh.
Ooh, je ne sais.
Ooh.
Ooh.
A certain French, I don't know what.
Some kind of le français, if you know what I mean.
Bibliothèque.
Definitely not French.
Okay, and so then they're in this ice crater, and it's like there's a lab underneath the ice layer.
What? But I dug 5 meters, and I
Nothing
found
could survive that.
Well, it's more than 5 meters thick, then, isn't it? You
And then
fucking idiot.
God shows up and is like, "Come into my lab."
Okay, when you say God, it is a hologram or some kind of virtual consciousness whose name is Deus Prometh.
Yep.
So Deus from Latin God,
Prometh, I assume from Prometheus,
fire.
who stole fire from the gods.
So
And as a result, was punished to have his, liver and eyes eaten every day by vultures.
something like that. So this guy literally is like a walking head, who keeps disappearing and reappearing virtually through
Yep.
like a hologram or something. He doesn't really have limbs. He does have a couple little scrawny little wires that come out.
But he takes them
occasionally,
underground into his exposition lab.
his exposition layer.
And he tells them, Cray killed me when I shared the Promare research with him. You see, there are Promare, which are aliens from another dimension made of fire, who bond with the Burnish
They live in a star.
to give them fire powers.
They bond through nuclear fusion and live through electromagnetism.
So he killed me,
And he shot me with this gun, and they show a video of him
and that's the
being
first
shot with
time
a
we
gun.
see his real human eyes.
And-
Cray's, that is.
Yeah, and Liam and I are like, oh, he's a bad guy?
Oh my god, I never saw this coming.
He murders people? Oh, and key thing is that he hasn't murdered anyone because he wants to keep the Burnish alive because he needs to use their powers to fuel the warp engine. So technically, he hasn't murdered anyone.
Except for this guy he
Except
murdered.
for this guy. And it's like, oh, he's a murderer? Oh my god.
I can forgive torturing the Burnish in the name of progress.
Subjugating an entire people in the name of escaping the planet and leaving them to die? Oh, I mean, that's fine. But murdering this random old man? Yikes. That's rough.
And so he's like, you've got to stop him. I've got a perfect version of the warp engine. Theirs is flawed. Mine won't harm its Burnished.
Oh.
So, yeah, you guys get into the mech, get in the robot, and go fight him. There's like the three of them there. There's Ina, Gallo, and Leo. And he's like, that's why I'm glad you're here, Gallo and Leo.
Get in the mech.
And just no mention of Ina, who's just standing right there.
She gets back in like her fly ship.
I guess I'll drive home then.
And it's just like, wait, what about what? Huh? So
I did like in the big exposition sequence with like a lot of like sort of 80s style sci-fi graphics spinning around. Like every time they span and showed Gallo again, he'd just have like a huge sleep bubble. It's like not paying attention to the exposition at all.
it would pop and be like, wait, what the fuck is he talking
Yeah.
about? What?
I
we
have
compress
not
it?
been paying attention. I am not a...
I'm not a brains guy. I'm a firefighter.
tactile learner.
Yeah. I'm a kinesthetic firefighter.
Deus Ex, just an X, Machina is the name of the giant robot he gives them. Because
Yeah.
his name is Deus Prometh.
And so Deus Ex Machina is the solution to this problem provided by God.
And it's kind of Gurren Lagann. It's kind of
It's a bit pudgy on the sides. I'll give it that.
kind of Pacific Rim in that
It takes 2 people.
yeah
To pilot it.
Gallo is the primary pilot, and then the Burnish powers of Leo are powering it.
And it's like super fueling every limb of it. So fire goes through all of it. It looks dope.
They fly over there, and God, what was that really stupid exchange? So after they fly off, Ina and Prometh are talking. It's like, I'm glad that you both showed that they showed up. What would you have done if they didn't? Humanity probably just would have been doomed.
And then his lair collapses.
She's like, this guy. And then he says, I am no guy. I'm a computer. Anyway, bye.
So he dies because his lair, for some reason, just collapses.
And then later on, there's an exchange between Ina and Helos.
Hellas, yep.
Where Ina says, also, he killed Professor Prometh. I know because the professor told me himself.
So,
And no one questions that.
yeah, literally Hellas, her sister, is like, how do you know that he's the murderer? It's like, oh, he told me that he got murdered.
What?
Wow, he must be evil then.
No one questions that.
Oh my god. Good old Trigger. So, Gallo is off to fight the fire of fascism.
Hooray!
So, Hellas.
Yep.
She's been told by Cray to turn on the warp drive,
Yep. It starts torturing all of the Burnish.
who have been put in these little cells. They start glowing pink as the centrifuge activates.
Big space rift starts opening up and the ship slowly ascends to it. But then the Deus Ex Machina shows up and Cray is like, oh no, it's the Deus Ex Machina.
That's the perfect, mech.
Attack it with all weapons, including regular munitions.
But that could kill people.
That could create fires.
That's the exact opposite thing that we're going for.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, don't worry. I'm well aware of what I need to do. And a weird throne emerges from the floor.
Hang on, well, first there's a bit of an exchange in the cockpit of the mech.
Oh, yeah?
Where it's like, Leo's like, Gallo, get it together. I can't, this mech is just too lame. Okay, I'll use my fire powers to spruce it up a bit then.
So he turns it from Big Hero 6 into Wicked Sick firefighting.
Yeah, into a Gundam.
Yeah, into a Gundam, basically. It looks very similar to the mad burning suits at the start.
Yeah, it's like got that black armor, and then like one side of its face is pink and the other is blue, like symbolizing the two halves of the pilots.
The yin and yang of Gallo and Leo.
Oil and water as one, they say.
And
Absolute firefighter, Leo de Gallon.
And that's the name of the ship, mech.
We're falling apart at the seams, Nick.
Look, the movie was crazy. It was insanity.
I renamed it because Deus Ex Machina doesn't have enough impact.
The fact that he thinks Deus Ex Machina doesn't have enough impact says a lot about Trigger.
Yeah.
Them being like, Deus Ex Machina is cool, but what about Leon de Gallos? Leo de Gallon.
Gallo de Leon.
Gallo de Leon.
No, hang on. Leon de Gallo first.
Leon.
Leo de Gallon. Because now he's like, you should praise my modesty for not calling it Gallo de Leon.
So it's Leo de Gallon.
And then later they do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was completed, says Cray. Anyway, then he transfers control of the ship to the secondary bridge, and the first bridge turns into a terraforming mech.
So this mech...
I genuinely liked the way that all of this mech's weapons were repurposed terraforming tools. Like, it gives me the same vibes as how in Earth Defense Force 5, the big bipedal punch robot you get in that is a heavy construction crane that they've repurposed.
Yeah, clearly a mech, but it's a crane.
Yeah.
Or how the satellites start getting more and more militarized, but initially it's just like, oh, this could get used for a laser, we guess.
Hellas has her face turn where she overloads the engine by giving it too much power so the core explodes and it can't be used anymore.
That bitch! How dare she?
That's good.
Oh, okay, good. So Hellas is a good person, and we just get a big fight scene between Leo and Gallo.
Yeah, they get smashed into the interior of the ship, which is like a city itself.
Versus Cray Foresight.
Or as Gallo dubs his mech, the Crazer X.
Crazer X. So the Crazer X has it's like
got a cannon that turns mountains into farmland and also skyscrapers.
Yep. It's got a big bore, I think it is, to bore into the crust of the earth or something.
Yeah, for irrigation purposes.
Yep. I think the other one was like a big laser beam.
Why don't you just use all this science to bring the magma under control? They quite reasonably ask him.
Yeah, because
I can't.
So the whole reason why he wants to leave the Earth
is because
the magma is going to erupt everywhere.
It's all being stimulated by all the Burnish and the Promares. It's going to erupt in 6 months and kill everyone.
Yeah. So the Promare, who are the sentient life forms that are the fire, who have voices that the Burnish can hear. Yep. The Promare are fueling the magma to explode, basically. inside the Earth's core.
Because that's their drive to burn.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's like, well, we've got to leave.
We can't fix
We've got all this marvelous space technology, but we can't fix it.
Yeah, because if we were to bring it under control, it would require too much tech.
Yeah. Real Elon Musk vibes.
Very Elon Musk. It's like, oh, so you're saying we're fucked on Earth? I'm out.
It's like, oh, you've got limitless resources that you could use to solve basically all of the problems causing or contributing to climate change? Yeah, but I want to go to Mars.
Like, we should leave the Earth and be a multi-planet species rather than all die on both planets.
Yeah, after they solve the Earth's core problem at the end of the movie, Cray goes onto Twitter and calls them pedophiles. Just like what Elon Musk did with that guy who saved the children in the cave.
Cray Foresight, Twitter fiends. Anytime he tweets anything, the stock market fluctuates and he ruins his own plans.
But yeah, throughout this fight, they keep being like, you've got this huge, like, ice cannon. Why don't you use that to
cool down the magma?
I don't want to. I want to go to space.
We don't have the technology. It's like, you clearly do.
Yeah. And, like, rather than spending all this time on building the spaceship, why didn't you spend all this time developing better Earth-saving technology?
I can't do that!
But you didn't have the space engine until just now anyway.
Yeah, because we were working on it! So Gallo is getting very angry at him. Cray Foresight is getting angrier because he's like, why are you so annoying? You just won't go away.
But then they win.
Yeah, well, win is a strong term. They get they basically freeze each other.
Yeah.
So Gallo and Leo freeze Cray by using fire in order to overload something or something.
I don't know.
Shoot like little purple things
he does make him a nice Matoi spear out of fire to get himself hyped up.
Yeah. And then they shoot purple things into the Crazer.
They do some fucking fire shit.
Yeah, and then Crazer X just freezes them. So they're both frozen in their mechs. Frozen forever in time.
Oh, maybe one day they'll thaw out and the movie will continue.
Right now. So they get out of their mechs. Cray Foresight is like, okay.
Now it's time to fist fight, just like at the end of
Metal Gear
Solid 4, Sons of the Patriots. We got like 3 things we talk about on this podcast.
And all of them are important.
Yeah.
So they hop out and Cray Foresight is like, yo, don't you get it? I've already won. I'm taking Leo and I'm peacing out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to use Leo, the strongest of the Burnish, as the new core of the reactor.
Don't you get it? I'm Burnish.
I am. And then he like shoots a big, like his formerly lost arm is like big mutant fire arm and his hair's all fire.
And Gallo's like, wait, but you're a Burnish?
But does that mean when you saved me as a child? Yes, I started the fire with my Burnish spasms.
It just helped with my rep that you happened to be there running out of the burning building.
I encouraged you to become a firefighter because it has the highest mortality rate.
And thus you would die and my secret would be long forgotten.
But you just kept being a really good firefighter.
God damn it, why can't you die?
And then he tries to burn him to death, but Gallo's still got a little mote of flame from Leo that's protecting him. And then he punches the guy out, and that was actually pretty easy.
Yeah, and he's like, don't you get it? Leo's flame protected me, and it'll protect everyone.
Yeah, and then they go save Leo from the generator, and he's like, no, get back in the generator with me, because with our 2 philosophies combined, we can save the Earth.
So the idea is while Leo was in the generator, he heard the Promare. He heard the Promare, and they were like, we just need to burn. And he was like,
yes,
I've got a great idea, right? Why don't we just burn
everything?
And it's like, oh, so like, everything? He's like, yeah, so like, the entire planet needs to burn. He's like, we can't do that.
They synthesize their 2 philosophies. They, the drive that Leo has to burn everything and the drive that Gallo has to protect everyone from fire means that everyone gets covered in perfectly harmless blue-green fire.
Except the buildings, infrastructure, and anything that isn't a person. So it's like
millions of people die in collapsing infrastructure.
So it's the same idea as what happened when he punched him out. He's like using Leo's fire, but he's like protected from fire.
Yeah.
This is like they're using Leo's fire to set everything on fire, but no one's harmed.
And I guess that like burns out the extra magma or something.
Yeah. Well, it appeases them.
Yeah,
Right.
The rift closes, the Promare go away, and there are no more burnish.
Now I have to emphasize, when I say everything, I don't just mean the Earth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It
They
literally,
reach out to the sun and then all the other planets.
and they also all burn. And then the rift shuts, and the last scene of the movie is
In the collapsed city,
Gallo and Leo and Cray Forsyth being like, "Yep, we did it.
we
We won."
sure set fire to everything.
And Cray Forsyth was like, "Well, that's just unnecessary.
Yeah, we could have used my machine, you pedophiles.
We could have escaped the Earth." All of the fire rescue team are there being like, "We did it. Nothing."
Oh yeah, they had like a fight with Vulcan that didn't really go anywhere.
No, Vulcan turned out to be like a 2-foot tall baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And Leo and Gallo are standing at the edge of the ship being like, "We did it,
And
partner."
then they fist bump, and that's the movie.
That's literally the end of the film.
What'd you think about this one, Nick?
I give it a 7 out of 10. My highlight would probably have to be the twist where we found out the Promare are just literally alive. So when they were like, "I hear the flames."
I actually really liked the graphics in that whole exposition sequence.
and the like swoopy,
like
rotating
swirly,
animation.
graphical, like 80s things, 80s sci-fi and such had a lot of like grids.
A lot of triangles
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
lot of hexes and squares. Yeah, I do like tessellation. It pleases me.
My highlight, interesting.
I mean, you have to understand that the whole movie's good,
Yeah,
But
it's pretty good.
but it's not a good
For
movie.
an anime.
Boom.
Boom, that's right. I'm bringing it back. JoJo's the only one worth watching.
Literally, anytime you're like anime, it always comes back to, yeah, but anime.
It's not JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Exactly.
Or Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant, which
Yeah.
I will also stump as pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, both of them have. So here's the thing:
Here's the thing about anime.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is so ridiculous that it just like loops in on itself to be genius. But Utenn's actually good.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually just genuinely fucking amazing.
I would say this, like, I don't think I would personally watch a full series of this.
God, no.
But I think
Please
that
no.
if it were in that format, I'd get more out of these action sequences. But just having more, like, they're all very stylized and very well executed. But just like having, you kind of get fatigue from them,
Yeah.
having so many of them in the short span of time.
If it was like a 4-part miniseries,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh my God, it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
But having them one after the other, you're like, there's no breaks. It just is non-stop.
Well, like, it comes back to what we've talked about, like since the very early days of this podcast, like a super well executed and animated fight scene that lasts for a long time, can be a visual spectacular, but can also just get kind of dull if it just keeps going and going. You know, if there doesn't seem to be any tangible stakes behind the glitz and glamour.
And it's like the philosophies on show here weren't like, yeah, philosophy. It was like
fire.
and not fire.
But hey, if you like it, that's good for you.
It's good shit. The animation is insane.
Yeah, credit where it's due. My highlight, as I was saying, was I liked that dragon sequence
The dragon sequence.
where he's attacking the city and he's like, Cray Foresight.
The names in this movie.
Actually, yeah, my highlight is the name Cray Foresight. That one's going to stick with me.
Fucking Cray Force. It's like, it's just insane. Like our Patreon that I forgot to shout out at the start of the episode.
Lowlights.
Lowlights. I want to say my lowlight is the entire middle of the film. Like, after the first third, and then you get to the twist with the Promare.
The whole gradual unraveling of the evil conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's so...
Yeah, up until the whole thing with the Promare being alive, it's like, yeah, we're not really winning any points for originality
No,
here.
it was just like, okay.
Oh yeah, the Secret Foundation is evil, of course.
Yeah, and that's kind of
The
it.
X-Men or the oppressed minority.
I get the excuse for plot. Yep, that's fine. I'm all good with that.
I also
But-
really like the bit where Eddie got in the lobster tank in the restaurant.
Eddie.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about Venom again. I get them confused because they're the same movie.
The symbiotes are the fire.
Yeah.
Oh.
The fire is the black goop.
Oh, I get it now. Because fire produces light.
And goop,
Is fire.
yeah.
I get
Have you
it.
ever played Dark Souls? Goop is fire.
Goop is fire. It's that which powers,
Humanity.
and it gets us to the stars, like the
like in
Promare.
Bloodborne.
Yes.
Anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, my low light is I think probably I'll count my low light as that extended rant I went on during my highlight about action scene fatigue.
Yeah. Just a strong amount of action scene. All well done, impeccable, amazing. A lot of them. Yeah.
Well, Nick, what's going to happen next time on Promare? The Earth has been destroyed by fire. We're not going to do this.
Well, it's basically leading into Dr. Stone, where everyone gets turned into stone and then have to rebuild society.
Oh, and then after that they'll do a water movie and an air movie.
Yes. Excellent.
Okay. Well, this is JoJo's world.
We tried with Promare.
What are we going to do next? Might do a Cowboy Bebop movie. Might make Nick watch some Star Wars Visions.
Oh, hell
It'll
yeah.
Finally be a Star Wars podcast.
Fuck yeah, I'd watch some Star Wars Visions. Absolutely.
But I don't know when that will be.
We're loosey-goosey right now.
Yeah, taking it day by day.
Tasty basty.
Tasty basty, baby.
Hell
and until
yeah.
next time, tasty basty.